Mic off. Mic on.
Okay. Morning, everybody. At least it's morning where I am. Just going over a little bit of what we're seeing on the market today, and then also checking out some of the setups that we're seeing. So let me just make sure that YouTube looks good, and then I'll start digging in. Okay, yeah, it's working. Cool. I'll be keeping an eye on the X space call as well. If anybody wants to post like a ticket request there, by all means, go for it. I'll be trying to keep monitoring chat on YouTube as well, just in case. But I don't really know much of YouTube, so let's begin. Well, SPY had a pretty good rally off a level we were talking about yesterday around noon, 565. So what caused me to, even though my execution yesterday was okay, it's not my best day ever, but enough to just do just fine. We were talking about how below 571. We were likely to just stall around 570, and that those rejections at 571 will make me flip bearish. Shortly enough, we traded into 568, and today we traded into 565, where we could see from yesterday it was an excellent point to go long, and I think that's an understatement. The low of the day was 564.94, which is 6 cents below where we called for reversion. Not bad. A lot of money was made today. Pretty good. If you do this for a living, or if you just do this as a side hustle, honestly, can't complain about that. That's a pretty good return investment. So, here's where we at right now with the whole with the data. Right, let's start pulling up gamma. Gamma is our magnets, our direction to see where markets are likely to go. It really helps trading a lot. So if you have If you can see on the stream on YouTube, I encourage anybody that might be watching through X or whatever, to join me on YouTube live and watch it through there so you can see what I'm clicking. Let me just double check that to see that it looks good. Yeah, you can see the whole thing. You can see my cursor too. Awesome. You see how big this 570 level is? It was yesterday, continues to be today. And we also have this little star right here, the white star at 571, right? So 570, 571, that's a major level that we want to see it not only consolidate a little bit longer, but also, a breakout above 571 would be great. So the range we're going to be trading here for a little bit, it will be this 569, 571. What I talked about during pre-market today was that, number one, the reversion. Number two, the follow through that I was looking for at 5,700 on SPX. And also the follow through at 571 on SPY. The 5,700 on SPX we're getting it already, which is pretty good. The 571 on SPY we're not getting yet, which is not so good. So, because that's exactly where we rejected a few times yesterday and what led us to sell off. Now, let me just focus a little more on the gamma here, guys. So, you see all these different expirations. On purple, there's a March 27th. On blue, there's March 28th. Yellow, March 31st. And then April 1st, April 2nd, on it goes, right? Let's just focus for today for a little bit. Okay, the purple. Let's make it easy. Let's just do current, which is the current expiration. Let's just focus on today. We're going to isolate the purple area real quick. All right, so we had that 570 support or like pivot that we were talking about, and then we have this positive gamma building up at 573, which is exactly what bulls want to see, because as it draws closer to expiration, this gamma, which because it's greater than the 570, is going to start acting as a magnet, and it's likely to cause us to rally, especially to close into 573. So we want to see this continue to happen throughout the day. One way to get some confirmation, as a technical analysis trader, TA people, they will look for lower highs, actually lower lows. My bad, lower lows to oh, this is bullish. They keep buying the dip. Every time it tries to make a low, it bounces a little higher. That's what we want to look for from now until 2 o'clock. All right, you want to see lower lows happening, and then that's gonna be just without having to use our tools, which are really helpful. The way you can kind of see a little bit of price action, you can kind of see what the market makers are doing. With our tools are much better to do it, but if you don't have it yet, subscribe because we have a promotion. But if you don't have it yet, that's what you want to look for. Those little higher lows, lower lows, right? So with that happening, it makes it all the more likely for 571 to break, okay? And then as we beat above 571, the next stop is 573. Which is huge because that brings us pretty close to, let's look into, again, remember I was looking at all these 5 inspirations. Let's focus on the blue area now, right? Let's focus, so I'll just type next, SPY, and we have a list of all this on our website and on here as well. So then, because we use predictive tools that let us see into the future or what's likely to happen in the future, right? What's most likely to happen in the future. We see that the peak positive, right? We apply the same rules for today, tomorrow's gamma. The peak positive is all the way out at 575 and is much greater. So that magnet that we have today at 573 is moving higher tomorrow into 575. So how cool is that? That, now we see, okay, if the price moves today happen that we're expecting, now tomorrow we should expect what? Another test of the 200-day moving average that everybody talks about, right? And that test is likely to what? Do us maybe possible initial rejection of 200-day is expected, right? But then if that gamma actually kicks in, which looks like it, and that's the greater chances to happen, we're actually going to close above it, the 200-day moving average. How cool is that, right? So that gives bulls and people who trade momentum the trigger to be like, hey, it's above the 200-day moving average, let's go long. Now, everybody that's going short today, what's going to happen is that they're going to get trapped again. And then if they get trapped, then they're going to end up closing the positions, which is going to be the market. That is a dynamic. That's a bullish thesis based on objective data that we're using right now to try to gauge what's going to happen in the future, and that's exactly what is most likely to happen, right? If you use Fibonacci's and whatnot, you are looking at some of the levels that I'm probably looking right here. I have some fibs at 567 and a half, roughly. But right now, I cannot say how important it is to see this 569 to hold, 568, that shelf, that 569.68 shelf to hold. That would be really cool, because you know what happened today when we traded 565? Really, really large bullish, bearish flow came in. Let me try to pull it out. I might not be able to show you on this chart, but if you were tracking a volume like we were right here, you could have seen it. But let's see right here. So you see how all these people on SPY, as we're trading to, like the white line is price, right? So as it was trading to 565, 566, you see how many people were shorting this thing? That all these people are trapped now for this expiration for the 27th. The longest stays above 568, all these people are going to end up closing this the positions, and it will cause them to bid, right? Because again, the whole morning, all the way up to what, 950, most of the position was bearish. So all these bears now are trapped, which is exactly what a bull wants to see, right? If you're a bear, you want to see it break below that 568 intraday. So let's just go over a little bit of what we're expecting price action. So into 1:30 my time EST, or Central Time 12:30. I'm kind of expecting this consolidation to persist. There's 560, these levels right here. Let me pull up the gamma again for you guys. And I might just talk about gamma today. It's not even gonna go anywhere else. Just want to try to keep it simple and easy for anybody to understand. So kind of like, if you see those yellow spikes right here, right? This 568. Right, we have more yellow spikes for Monday all the way down to 555, but these people like to get crushed. But 558, 568 to 575, you see, that's going to be kind of the range. But more so for 12:30 and to 12:30 Central Time, 1:30 my time, I'm really expecting this to trade between 569 and 571. Looking for those lows, and then once volume comes in towards the closing, right, we can see that max pain or magnetism effect pulling price towards the highest concentration, so options, right? Right now it is at 573, but we have a whole bunch of open interest into 570, 571, right? What could happen is that if we are trading right at 571 into close and we start beating above 571, now it opens the door for 572, 573, even 574 to trade if we get like a lot of momentum. You can use MACD, stochastics, RSI to confirm momentum if you want. What I'm really looking for is basically for price to stay here for the next 2 hours, and then towards the end, I'll be expecting a bid to come in, possibly taking us to 572 at least, and then it could happen that overnight, then we drift to 573, 574. Kind of too early for me to be sure about that, but definitely a bullish setup. Below 568, which is not very likely to happen right now. at least at this very moment. We could go back to 566.5 below. If we close below 566.5, bears are back in control. Momentum's completely faded. Was just a bull trap kind of deal, right? But really looking at the 568 support to hold for the next few hours. Why am I kind of really bullish towards the end of the day? Really comes from Delta. I know I tried to talk only about Gamma, but I want to pull this up and start talking about it. Look at the amount of negative Delta we have still, right? If we were to, let's say, get rid of most of the purple and blue area where most of the positive Delta is, we're left only the yellow area where there is like significant amounts of negative Delta all the way out at 575, 580. And all these people here are 600 too, but 600 is far out. There's a lot of resistance before that. I'm not going to touch that right now. So with all this negative Delta, as overnight hours come, people are going to start having to hedge for the negative Delta exposure, and oftentimes that leads to a pretty decent rally into the end of the day. Sometimes that rally fades into the last 15 minutes. I won't be able to tell if that rally will fade in the last 15 minutes or not until a little later in the day, but that's some mechanics due to charm and some other stuff. But this is what's going on. This is what's happening when it comes to the gamma mechanics and delta mechanics and whatnot. The Qs are very similar setup. I'll pull up just to go over real quick anyway. So again, price targets above 568. I'm expecting 574 to trade, 572 to trade. If we get momentum to 578 tomorrow, 580 even possible. That's pre-extended, but that's going to depend a lot on the VIX. I'm not going to talk the VIX right now because that's like a little more same kind of data, but we reserve that for the people that are in the pro access. But the VIX, we have some very specific levels. It doesn't want to die out, let's just say that, and 17 is a major level. Let's just leave it at that. The Qs, as you can see, playing a game at 490. This 485 level, holding is pretty good. 485, 484. It bottomed right at 480 today, where we had all this gamma as support. Again, pink of gamma as support and resistance, direction, right? If you see here, positive X favor buying every dip that you see it. Where do you buy the dip? Where there's a lot of gamma. Where there was a lot of gamma, 480. Bought the dip there, you made a ton of money today. Go enjoy your day. But if still trying to catch a trade, look for those higher lows here above 485, and then price target to 488. Why 488? Look at this gamma right here picking out. It's a pretty good amount, even though it's not the peak, right? That's the first price target. Then the second price target will be 490, right? Check out something at 495. Look at all that gamma there, right? It's not the peak, but it's pretty close to being the peak of negative. Minus 600 is peak negative. That's just below minus 600. So, if this star right here, again, we try to make it really easy. If that little star right here at 480 shifts to 495, that's really bullish, guys. That's a confirmation that 490 is going to trade. And if 490 breaks, 495 should be shortly after. Okay? I still have my concerns about the VIX. There is a little bit of discrepancies and divergences happening right now that make me feel like, okay, the VIX is not ready to go below 17 yet. Definitely not below 16 yet. So those things are like kind of keep me in my tiptoes. VVIX has reached a level that often reverses, and once that reverses, it often precedes a VIX pump. And exactly what happened. VVIX has not reached levels that makes me think, okay, VIX is gonna die a little more and break lower. It doesn't need to. All I'm doing is looking at the data, and this is what the data is saying. Is the bottom M in? There's good data saying that the 555 was the bottom, at least for now. We're observing very closely to see. I want to be a little more firm above 575, and then I want to see what happens at 580 once we trade there. If we don't break complete below 565 before that, right? But above 580, that's when I'm gonna make my next decision for the next few months, based on the long-term data that we have. But yeah, so this is what's going on. GME is getting crushed right now. I'm just gonna talk about it just because I'm here on X as well. I know a lot of people that follow me on X really care about GME. Something we talked about was that how strong the resistance at 30 was. The news coming out of possible dilution, even though it's 5 years from now, it's how the algos work. There's a few other nuances to it that we want to talk about it, but it's going to take too long. But the data itself, we're just calling it for 30 to be a pretty serious resistance. I'm going to pull up the gamma for GME. Also pull out the delta. As you can see, all that gamma we had at 30 shifted lower. But good news is that we still have a lot of gamma at 23, which is still a pretty good support. 24 continues to be a good support as well. Nothing changed there. Delta is coming to become very, very negative, which is going to cause a pretty soon we should have a relief bounce. Okay, so if you're GME bull, fight the dip. 23 is a major reversion level. Okay, if we're lucky enough to get to ring 3, I think as the data is now, it's a good entry. I was talking about this 23 level even before earnings. If earnings happen and it was, let's say, a sell the news or whatever it was, and we dipped to 23, that would be an amazing setup for us to go long right after earnings. Didn't happen. It rallied all the way to 30. That was a huge resistance, as you can see, even the Vana, right? All the Vana line there. We had all the gamma there. There was just like something major had to happen. Position had to shift for 30 to go up. Like, here in Nebula, we kind of talk about like counting stars to quantify how strong your resistance is or how weak your support is or whatever it is. Right now, we had like so many points where 30 was the strongest resistance, right? We had delta, we had gamma, and on and goes. Now gamma shifting lower and closing higher just fuels the sell, right, on GME. But take heart, 23 and 24 are still a good area to accumulate a little bit. Again, not financial advice. Nothing I say here is financial advice, of course, guys. I'm just some strange guy online talking about data. But I'm here to help in any shape or form. If you follow me on X, you see that some of the call-outs I have done recently, and all because I'm just reading this out loud like I'm doing to you guys. Have been pretty precise. You want to know more, there's 7-day free trial. Come on in. I will personally help you out, whatever you need. The community is awesome. Let me just show you real quick what's going on here. This is another bot, sorry. The community is right here. Everybody's like talking about data. Somebody here called it the VIX gap. That was the high of the day today, which is pretty cool. Talking about getting in, getting out, trades, ideas all day long. We also have, let's see, pulling out data for SPY. There's plenty of TA going on. Ton of stuff. I provide updates quite often. And then, yeah, that's really it, guys. I don't want to spend too much time here. I'm, again, trying to look for more days to come. If you ever have a ticker request, post on X. I'll do a live here for you guys. But my time is coming to an end right now. Hope you guys have a good day. Remember those levels that I mentioned, right? 569, 568, major support. Expect a mechanical by impression to the end of the day. Look for higher lows for the next 2 hours. Cool? Alright, cool. I'm out. Enjoy the rest of the day. Hope you made some money. See you next time. Take care.